Welcome to Good to Know. In this video, we'll explore the top 5 best provinces to live in Canada. As the world's second largest country, Canada is a sought-after destination for expats and tourists. If you're considering a move to Canada, let's discuss the prime provinces to settle in. Currently, Canada is actively encouraging people to relocate, aiming to welcome over 400,000 new permanent residents annually for the next 3 years. The government is providing support for expats, including visas, jobs, and banking assistance. With abundant opportunities and a superb quality of life, it's an ideal time to consider moving to Canada. But which provinces are the best choices? With 10 provinces and 3 territories, Canada offers various options. We've narrowed down the top 5 best provinces to live in and will delve into why each is an excellent place to call home. Number 1. British Columbia, a high standard of living. British Columbia, or BC as it's known by locals, is the westernmost province, bordering the Pacific Ocean. It is one of the best provinces to live in Canada if you are after a high quality of life and don't mind paying for it. Like most of Canada, life here is all about the outdoors, and since it has the mildest winter weather in the whole country, it is perfect for people who want to be outside but don't like the cold. There's still snow in winter, but temperatures are more manageable than elsewhere. Vancouver is the largest city and the place most people head to, and for a good reason. Vancouver is a beautiful city right on the water with mountains behind. Vancouver can be a bit expensive in terms of house prices, but you'll find most corporate job opportunities here. It's a major metropolitan hub. Outside of Vancouver, you'll find Victoria on Vancouver Island. Victoria is actually the province's capital, so you'll find the city has an older, more prestigious attitude than its younger, more modern sister city. There are ferries from Vancouver straight to the island. If you want to be close to Vancouver but stay out in nature, consider living in Victoria, BC, or anywhere else on Vancouver Island. There are some lovely towns there, including Nanaimo, Port Alberni, Parksville, Courtenay, and Campbell River. Other significant towns in the province include Kelowna, Kamloops, and Chilliwack. Each has excellent access to the Rockies for winter sports but is metropolitan enough to have everything you need. Education, transport, and public services are well funded in BC, with good local schools, major private colleges, and international schools in Vancouver. The only real factor which could be a drawback is the living costs. Life in BC can be pricey. The Vancouver private schools can have annual fees of $30,000 Canadian. You will enjoy good public services but pay for them with high taxes. It's recommended that a minimum yearly salary to live more or less comfortably in Vancouver or BC for a single person is $50,000 Canadian. For a family with children, life could get tough on less than $120,000 Canadian. So, which is your favorite place among the top 5 best provinces to live in Canada? Well, that's all we have for you today. Ontario. Number 2. Ontario, great employment opportunities. Ontario is the most popular province for people moving to Canada. The province is home to almost 15 million people and is an economic powerhouse for Canada. Ontario's capital, Toronto, is considered one of the coolest cities in the country. It's a very diverse and lively place to live. Toronto's distinct neighborhoods attract young families, professionals, arty types, and all other kinds of expats from all over the globe. Toronto is often compared to New York for its blend of laid-back attitude, hard-working corporate areas, and a fun all-night party vibe. It's pricey, but if you want to live in a major city, Toronto is the place to be. Outside of Toronto, you have the option of several other large towns and cities. The most popular are Ottawa, Mississauga, and London. Each has an outstanding education system, including universities that attract internal students, excellent public transport, and job opportunities. Ottawa, the capital city of Canada, is a great choice and competes with Toronto in popularity. There's always a debate going on about whether Ottawa is better than Toronto or not. Ontario offers a lot of employment opportunities. In fact, if you don't already have a job lined up, Ontario is an excellent place to start. Unemployment here is the lowest in the country. Outside of work, life in Ontario is pretty amazing. There are mountains for winter sports, lakes and beaches for the summer, forests, national parks, rivers, and more. It's an outdoor dream, an embodiment of the Canadian lifestyle. In summer, temperatures reach over 30 degrees Celsius, meaning you get a real summer. Winter is the traditional Canadian cold. Ontario is culturally diverse and attracts international visitors, making it a great place to move if you like embracing new cultures, meeting new people, and learning something new. Home to expats from all over the world, the quality of life here is incredible if you love the outdoors. It also has the highest average income in Canada, so no wonder that so many expats end up living in Ontario. Quebec. Number 3. Quebec, the taste of European culture. Famously the French-speaking province in Canada, Quebec offers a very different lifestyle from the rest of the country. Aside from the language, the area is considerably more European than the other provinces, favoring a more American outlook on life. The main difference is, of course, the language. But if you speak French or are willing to learn, Quebec offers a distinctly dynamic way of life at a slightly slower pace. The two main cities of Montreal and Quebec don't buzz in the same way as Toronto and Vancouver. You'll still find everything you need and can party all night if you want to, but it's more likely to be in an underground bar or on your neighbor's terrace rather than in a club. Winter in Quebec is long and cold, but there is much more open friendliness among neighbors because of this. When the weather is cold enough to kill, most people let go of petty arguments and help each other out, meaning even the big cities and towns feel like oversized villages. If you want culture, Quebec could be perfect for you. It's less culturally diverse than Ontario, but it's home to many Europeans who feel more at home here. Of course, the outdoors plays a huge part in everyone's life, with ice hockey and skating on top of the list. The Quebec wilderness is much wilder than in Ontario, so if you really want to get back to nature and don't want to walk the same trails as everyone else, you'll find Quebec much nicer. Citizens in Quebec have excellent access to public and private schooling and healthcare, and there are some pretty strict rules regarding pollution to keep wildlife safe. Generally, life in Quebec is much cheaper than in other provinces, particularly regarding property prices. Even though some major international universities bring in plenty of students and families, the cost of living here is pretty low. There are plenty of job options with decent salaries, which means Quebec often draws in people who want to live the good life on a reasonable budget. Alberta. Number 4. Alberta, for slower and less expensive living. In the center of Canada, you'll find three huge flat provinces called the Prairie Provinces. Of these, Alberta is generally considered the better place to live because of its vast flat expanses. Alberta has a massive farming culture. Here, you'll find harvest parties, cowboys, rodeos, concerts, and lots of locally grown food and drink. There's a real country feeling in Alberta, which is slightly elevated by the hugely popular city of Calgary. Calgary received vast amounts of funding when it hosted the Winter Olympics, and as such, it got excellent transport infrastructure and outstanding facilities. In particular, it's got some pretty fabulous sports facilities. Since it's close to the Rockies, it attracts many skiers in winter, and the surrounding countryside is basically a giant playground all year round. If you're looking for work outside of Calgary, it's mainly agricultural work that pays well and comes with an entire community of support. You'll also find a fair amount of oil, gas, and mining jobs. Corporate jobs are limited to Calgary and the provincial capital Edmonton. Many people here do seasonal work, choosing to work on farms in summer and in the ski resorts in the winter. Living in Alberta is relatively inexpensive, and life is a bit slower than in other places with major cities. You're unlikely to find significant fashions in Alberta, but it's a good life with one hell of a scenic backdrop. Nova Scotia. Number 5. Nova Scotia, the most beautiful province. If you're looking to get away from it all and relax in some tranquility, Nova Scotia is the best province for you. The East Coast province has low property prices, a low cost of living, clean air, minimal crime, and lots of peace and quiet. For many people, it's a dream. Economically, fishing, trawling, and hunting are the big employers here. It's not for everyone, but if you have a modest retirement fund or can work remotely, Nova Scotia is magnificent. Like Alberta, it's not the most fashionable, trendy province of them all, but it offers an ideal lifestyle for people who like the outdoors, don't want to live in a major city, and can deal with the cold winters. Halifax is the province's hub, and even that is much calmer than other cities. The relaxed way of life means people really enjoy connecting with the outdoors and with each other. Winter can be challenging in rural areas, but the facilities exist to make it as easy as possible. Canadians know how to deal with the cold. Being very rural does come with both pros and cons. There's no need to worry if you suffer from road rage. Traffic simply doesn't exist in Nova Scotia. However, some people feel isolated during the winter months. If you're looking to climb the career ladder and aren't interested in fishing, life here could be challenging. However, Nova Scotia offers a wild, rugged beauty that is unmatched and a peaceful way of life that means very few people want to leave. So that's it. Now you know the best places to live in Canada. Please make sure to hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon before we start this video about the 5 best provinces to live in Canada.